So I think I've talked about everything I wanted to talk about in the kitchen. I mean, I guess last minute advice, maybe wipe down walls. And you know what needs to be done in your kitchen. I don't know how recently you've deep cleaned it, but I feel like the refrigerator and microwave and cabinet fronts are more important than maybe having an organized pantry or something like that. Cleanliness is the most important thing, and your house doesn't have to be perfect to have guests. So relax, take a deep breath. It doesn't have to be perfect. You just need to take care of certain priority items. Let's move on to your front entrance and living areas. Now, the main deep cleaning task you're going to want to take care of in those areas is dusting and wiping things down. Now's the time to dust all surfaces, dust your ceiling fan, dust your blinds, wipe out your windowsills, and of course remove any excess clutter. You would do that before dusting. Typically in a living area, I would have you straighten the couch cushions, pick up, dust, vacuum. But let's face it, your guests are going to be spending a lot of time in your front room or family room, wherever you entertain. And so it may need some extra attention as far as dusting. Hopefully you don't keep a lot of clutter in the main living areas of your home. But something you may not deal with very often is your front entrance. When people come to your door, is your front porch covered in debris? Let's sweep that porch. Let's deal with the cobwebs. Let's make sure there's some type of decoration of some kind. Even if you don't do seasonal decor, sometimes it's just nice to have some kind of decoration on your front porch. For example, we have a vertical wooden sign that says gather. That's always there in every season. And then right now I have another little sign that says welcome friends. I have a little stuffed scarecrow inside of my skinny window between the curtain and the window. So it serves as an outdoor decoration. And then on my little table, it's a covered patio, there's like a little cloth pumpkin sitting on the table there next to the chair. So make sure that your front entrance on the exterior of your home is welcoming, and also your front entrance inside your home. So those are definitely some key areas. So for the next few minutes, be working on your front entrance, inside and out, your living areas, with a focus on dusting and wiping things down. You may even need to clean your baseboards. I'm more picky about that in the bathroom, and it seems like the bathroom baseboards collect dust quicker for some reason. So anyway, try to get to that if you can. But again, if you're expecting guests any minute, don't panic about living area baseboards. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm not going to spend a long time talking about the front entrance and living areas, just because there's only so much you can say. Something nice that I did to kind of freshen up, because I'm also focusing on finishing touches in this episode. Something that I did to kind of update my living room is I got one of those cluster picture frames and put a few recent photos, from the past year of our immediate family in that cluster frame and hung that up. And I'm really happy with how it turned out. And, there's portraits and gallery walls and stuff, which I don't really have that going on at this house. I typically have like a gallery wall in the hallway. Haven't really done that at this house. I have a family portrait on the piano. But a lot of my gallery portraits are just in a box still. But having your favorite snapshots in a cluster frame just adds a more fun personal touch, those feel-good moments that you've had throughout the year, captured in photos. It's something I'm happy about. So that's something that I did. And I tend to procrastinate on that, but it's super easy to just upload your photos to Walmart or Walgreens. I think I did Walgreens. And if you're overseas, you may have different ways of doing this. But it was super easy, and it was kind of an impulsive thing that I was doing late in the evening. And Walgreens was still open. I sent my teenager to go pick up the pictures, and then I put together my frame. And it just kind of made it fun. People like to have things to look at when they're sitting in your living room. And what nicer thing to have than this gallery. And maybe you want to do the thing where you want to include your guests in the photos. I didn't really do that. We have a huge family, so I just did recent photos of us and the kids and grandkids. I didn't do every extended family member, but when I have more time, I plan on getting another one of those frames and adding more people and maybe putting it in the hallway. So anyway, that's a fun idea that just doesn't take as long as you think. I got, basically, if you want to look for the exact thing I got a white cluster frame at Big Lots for like $15, and then uploaded some photos from my phone and Facebook to Walgreens, and yeah, they develop them like within an hour. It's a lot easier than it sounds like. And then to position them, I just kind of taped them on to the fake family pictures so that everything was straight. I kept that sheet in because a cluster frame can feel complicated, but when there's a one-piece sheet that has those stock photos of those fake families, not that they're not real, you can tape your own photos over those, and that way they're positioned just right. So again, you might be cleaning at the last minute and you're like, no, maybe you just need to dust the portraits you already have hanging. So anyway, throwing that out there. But you don't always have to have every portrait on display in a gallery wall. I've gone kind of minimalist at this house. I just have. And also there were some runners up that didn't fit in the frames because with the cluster frames, some of them were landscape, some of them were portrait, so I couldn't use all of my favorite pictures. The remaining favorites that didn't make it into the cluster frame, I don't even want to call them runners up because they're good too. I'm really pleased about them, but I wanted everybody represented, everybody in the immediate family represented. So my extra ones went on a bulletin board in my room. So that's a way to really brighten up your home. Pick some favorite pictures and get them developed. That's enough time in the living areas. If you need more time, keep plugging away at it. But definitely let's talk about bathrooms. Obviously, when you want your house to be clean for guests, the kitchen and bathrooms are important. When you're cleaning the bathroom, you're going to use, do the usual stuff. Remove clutter, clear the countertops. You're going to, scrub your toilet and sink area, countertop, mirror, and then lastly the shower or bathtub, and then the floor. The floor is last, obviously. But while you're working on whatever needs to be done in the bathroom, I'm not going to talk you through it in detail. Let's just talk about some added touches that I want to make sure happen. Toilet paper. When you're expecting a house full of guests, especially, it's good to have visible toilet paper. Maybe just in your everyday life, you keep the extra toilet paper out of sight in a cupboard under the sink or something like that. Maybe that's how you prefer to do things, and that's fine. Or maybe you do display it. But when I'm having guests, there's a basket on the back of my guest toilet. I typically do put a couple rolls of toilet paper, 2 to 3 rolls in that basket, in addition to the one that's on the roller in use. but that's especially important when you're having guests, so that they don't feel like they have to go rummaging through your cabinets, or they start to panic and wonder if there's enough toilet paper. So maybe have some visible toilet paper in a basket, or on the back of the toilet, just somewhere where they can easily grab a roll. You'd be surprised how fast toilet paper runs out when you have more people in the house. So I'm going to throw that out there. Another thing that I have done not so much in preparation for Thanksgiving, because Thanksgiving we're probably going to have my local daughter who lives here and maybe one of my husband's coworkers if he can make it. So it's not, I don't know, the guest towels are for Christmas. Let's put it that way. So what I did is I got 3 guest towels, and then I just stashed them in a drawer so that they'll be brand new when I put them out. Another thing I typically do, if I don't have a cute soap dispenser, if you have a cute one that you refill, great. I mean, I've seen cute Christmas soaps and things like that, the fancy dispensers that you can refill. I've seen that and everything, but sometimes, money's tight and you just pick up a soft soap that is themed for the appropriate holiday. So maybe just do that. Obviously, if you've been using a bar of soap or something, you want to have a nice pump soap dispenser for guests. And you want to have nice clean guest towels. And the other thing I wanted to say is when you're cleaning your toilet, maybe you've been just giving it a swish and wiping down the seat, the rim, all those relevant areas. You've got to get down on your hands and knees and wipe the bottom of the tank all around there before you have guests. While you're down there, you also need to scrub your baseboards. I've said this before, but when your guests are sitting on the toilet, they have nothing more to do than to look down at your baseboards. And for some reason, I don't know if it's a combination of hairsprays and other products or the humidity, but those baseboards in the bathroom tend to attract more dust that kind of sticks on. So those are going to need to be scrubbed. And I'm not going to spend a long time talking about the bathroom. I'm recording this episode before work. But again, make sure that you have extra toilet paper, nice guest towels. And if you have kids and they tend to mess up the towels or whatever, put those fresh ones out at the last minute. Another tip I would recommend if your kids are little and they tend to just yank that hand towel down is putting a little clip, like a chip clip or a hair tie or not a hair tie, hair clip, something, clip that on there, or even tie it on to the bar so that it doesn't end up on the floor or whatever. Especially if your mom is going to be like, I need a towel. So anyway, just word to the wise on that. I may not have given you enough time in the bathroom. You can always get back to it later. If you're having an overnight guest in a bedroom, I'm calling it the guest room, but you may be putting them up in your own bedroom, which is what we're going to be doing. We have an RV, so for Christmas, I mentioned we're not having many guests for Thanksgiving. For Christmas, we're going to have probably Jessica, her husband, her 2 daughters, and we're probably also going to have my mom and her husband, in addition to my local adult daughter and her baby, who will also be here for Thanksgiving, but she's at my house several times a week, so I'm not making special preparations. We are going to be cleaning, but a lot of the stuff is going to be done before Christmas. The most important things, like those towels. I digress. Anyway, you may have a guest room that you're preparing, even if it's your own room. And that's all about removing clutter and vacuuming. And also keep in mind that your guests may open the closet in the room they're staying in. Now, that shouldn't be your top priority, but maybe straighten that up in case they do open that and they're going to hang up their own clothes in there or something like that. Again, I'm going to have to cut this episode short because I'm getting ready to go to work. So you may not have time to clean a bedroom right now, but I'm just going to talk about preparing for guests and finishing touches after you've cleaned, dusted, and of course changed the bedding and sheets. You are going to want to put an extra blanket at the bottom of the bed. Not everybody sleeps at the exact same temperature you do. If you don't have a ceiling fan in that room, provide a fan. That way they can make the house cooler or warmer. I always tell my guests they can adjust the thermostat, but a lot of people don't feel comfortable doing so, which is why you want to provide a fan and an extra blanket so that they can be comfortable. Another nice touch is to put an unopened bottle of water on each nightstand. That way they don't have to leave the room to get a drink of water. So those are some of my tips for having, a guest room set up. I also, in the bathrooms, I didn't mention this earlier, but I also sometimes like to have a little dish with travel-sized items, like little shampoo, body wash, things like that, in a cute little dish on the bathroom counter for guests. Little mini soaps and things like that. Don't forget to buy body wash. If in your kid's bathroom there's like a bar of soap or something, your guests might feel more comfortable using body wash, so don't forget about that. If the toothpaste is really gross, toss that. Sometimes kids can kind of mess up the toothpaste, put a fresh one in there. But I really should be going. Relax. Your house doesn't have to be perfect, but this is one situation where I recommend making a list. Make a list of items to pick up at the store. Walk through your house with your guests in mind and think about what needs to be done. For example, I worried about people tripping over that cord or the rug that's not staying in place. So that's got to be done. The goal is to make your guests feel comfortable and have, a clean refrigerator, clean bathroom, things like that. I hope you have a happy holiday season. I'm sorry we haven't been recording much lately. Obviously, we're all busy this time of year, but thank you so much for listening. Special thanks to our financial supporters, but most of all, just keep listening to the show. That's how we make a few extra bucks. And as always, happy cleaning. I'll talk to you in the next episode.